Hello you guys, let's talk about graphs of linear equations. So our goal is to sketch the graphs of linear equations. Now here's the deal, you must use a ruler or your ID card or that little ruler bookmark thing I gave you for your planner. Okay, that you can use, but you have to use something straight because linear equations, just like it says right here, L-I-N-E, always form straight lines. So if you do it correctly, it'll be a perfectly straight line. Okay, so take a look at the guided practice number 1. They want us to graph y equals x minus 7. So I need you to show your work like we've been talking about in a table. I want an x column, I want a work column, and I want a y column. And then for x, we're going to always do the easy numbers. We're going to start off with 0, and then a 1, 2, and negative 1. And then in the work column, I want you to copy this, okay, the x minus 7. But rather than the x, I want you to put parentheses minus 7, parentheses minus 7, parentheses minus 7, parentheses minus 7. Okay, now grab your red pen, and I want you to put a 0 in the space, and then add a line, change the sign. Put a 1, add a line, change the sign. Put a 2, add a line, change the sign. Put a negative 1, add a line, change the sign. Now grab your blue pen, okay, and so 0 plus negative 7 would give us negative 7. And then 1 plus negative 7 would give us negative 6. 2 plus negative 7 gives us negative 5. Negative 1 plus negative 7 gives us negative 8. Now we're going to write those points. So the first point we're going to graph is 0, negative 7. So write it right here. So start at your origin at 0, 0. And then 0 means you don't move right or left. The negative 7 means go down in the elevator to negative 7 and put a dot. Okay, let's graph the next point, 1 comma negative 6. So start at the origin, move to the right 1, and then get in the elevator and go down to negative 6 and draw your point. And then let's graph 2 comma negative 5. So start at the origin, go to the right 2, then go down to negative 5 and draw your point. And then let's graph the last point, negative 1 comma negative 8. So start at the origin, go to the left 1, and then drop down to negative 8 and draw your point. And then put using your straight edge, your ID card or your ruler, I want you to draw a perfectly straight line, just like I did, and put arrows on both ends. Now here's the deal, when we do our work, we're only finding 1, 2, 3, 4 points along the line. But the answer to this, all of the solutions, is every single solitary point along this line. So there's an infinite number of solutions, and that's why we have to draw it, we have to graph it. Okay, so let's talk about number 2. It's y equals negative 2x plus 3. So again, for our work, I want you to do an x column, a work column, and a y column. Okay, and then for the x, we're going to input 0, and then positive 1, positive 2, negative 1. Now, for the work column, I want you to copy this. Negative 2 times x plus 3. But rather than the x, we're going to do the parentheses. So negative 2 times parentheses plus 3. 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 Now grab your red and put a 0 in the space, and then let's do that. Negative 2 times 0 is 0, plus 3 gives us 3. So put a 3 in the y column. And then let's input a positive 1. Negative 2 times 1 would be negative 2, plus 3 would be a positive 1. And then let's input a positive 2. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4, plus 3 would be negative 1. And then when we input negative 1, negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2, plus 3 gives us positive 5. Now, I wrote the points here, 0, comma, negative 3. So let's graph that. Start at the origin, and 0 means you don't walk right or left. Positive 3 means you get in the elevator and go up to 3 and put a dot. Okay, then the next point is 1, comma 1. So start at the origin, walk one place right to the elevator, get in, go up one floor. There you go. Put that point. And then let's graph 2, comma, negative 1. So start at the origin, go to the right 2, and then get in the elevator, go down 1, and put that point. And then let's graph negative 1, comma 5. So start at the origin, walk to the left 1, get in the elevator, and go up to positive 5, and put that point. And now with your straight edge, I want you to draw a line through all 4 of those points and then put arrows on both ends because this line is infinitely long and we're just showing them that all of these points along the line are the solutions of this equation. Okay, so now let's look at example 3, graphing vertical and horizontal lines. So they want us to look at they want us to look at the graph of x equals 6. Well, right away, I want you to notice something. There is no y. It's just x. And so people say, well, how do I do this? Well, watch. I want you to do an x column and a y column. Okay? And what they're saying is x equals 6. It is frozen at 6. It always has to be 6. It can't be any other number. So in the x column, I want you to just put 6, 6, 6, 6. Okay? 4 6s. Now, there's no y, right? So we are free to make up any numbers you want in the universe for y. You could do anything. So I'll just do easy. 0, 1, 2, -1. But you could put anything in the y column. All right? And then we graph these points. So we're going to graph 6, 0, 6, 1, 6, 2, and 6, -1. So let's start with 6, 0. Start at the origin, walk to the right 6, and then 0 means you get in the elevator, but you don't go anywhere. So put that point right there, okay, on the x-axis. And then let's graph 6, 1. So start at the origin, walk to the right 6, get in the elevator, go up 1 floor, put a dot. Okay, then let's graph 6, 2. So start at the origin, walk to the right 6, and then go up 2 and put a dot. And then I'm going to graph 6, -1. So start at the origin, walk to the right 6, get in the elevator, go down 1 floor. All right? And then use your straight edge or your ruler, and I want you to draw a perfectly straight line through those 4 points and put arrows on both ends. So since this line goes straight up and down, we call it a vertical line, just like your backbone, your vertebrae. It goes straight up and down. Okay, take a look at example B. They want us to graph y equals -3. Now you should say, hey, wait a minute, there's no x here. That's correct. But I want you to put y equals -3, and then I still want you to put an x column and a y column, because these are still linear equations. Now, for the x, we're going to do the same thing that we did before. We're going to make up easy values. So let's do 0, +1, +2, -1. But what this is saying is y is frozen at -3. It can't be anything else. So just put -3, -3, -3, -3, all the way down. Okay, now we have our 4 points to graph. So we're going to graph 0, -3. So start at the origin. 0 means you don't walk right or left. -3 means you get in the elevator and go down to -3. Okay, then let's graph 1, -3. So start at the origin, go to the right 1, and go down in the elevator to -3 and put your dot. Okay, let's graph 2, -3. Start at the origin, go to the right 2, and then get in the elevator, go down -3, and put your dot. And then let's graph -1, -3. So start at the origin, go to the left 1, and then drop down to -3 and put your dot. And then use your ruler and do a perfectly straight line through all 4 of those dots and draw arrows on both ends. So this line, because it's going flat like this is called a horizontal line. Okay, so take a look at number 3, y equals 2.5. So I wrote it here, I did my x column, and I did my y column. Now for x, I'm going to make up easy values, 0, 1, 2, -1. For y, they told me it has to be 2.5. So I'm going to put 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5. And now I'm going to graph these points. So the first point is 0, 2.5. So I started at the origin. I didn't go right or left, but I got in the elevator and I went up 2.5. And I put a dot. And then I'm going to graph 1, 2.5. So I'm going to start at the origin. I'm going to go to the right 1 and then go up 2.5 in the elevator and put my dot. Then I'm going to graph 2, 2.5. So start at the origin, go to the right 2, get in the elevator, go up to 2.5. And then I'm going to graph -1, 2.5. So I'm going to start at the origin, I'm going to go to the left to -1, get in the elevator, go up to 2.5. And then I'm going to use my straight edge, I'm going to draw a perfectly straight line through those 4 points, put arrows on both ends, and I see that it's a flat line at 2.5, and that's horizontal. Okay, take a look at number 4. X equals -5. So again, put x equals -5, do your x column, do your y column. Now this is telling you x has to be -5. It can't be anything else. So just put -5, -5, -5, -5. For the y, you can make up anything you want. I put 0, 1, 2, -1. And now I'm going to graph those points. So let's graph -5, 0. So start at the origin. Go to the left to -5, and 0 means don't go up or down, so just stay there. Then I'm going to graph -5, 1. So start at the origin, go to the left to -5, and then go up to +1 and put a dot. And then I'm going to graph -5, 2. So I'm going to start at the origin, I'm going to go to the left to -5, and then I'm going to go up to +2 and put a dot. And then I'm going to graph -5, -1. So I'm going to start at the origin, I'm going to go to the left, -5, drop down to -1, and put a dot. And then I use my straight edge, and I drew a straight line through all 4 of those dots, and that's a vertical line because it goes straight up and down.